So yeah, what about you? What are your hobbies besides shoes and?
Yeah, for me, since I'm not like an adventurous guy, hobbies are kind of for me. I mean, I really love gaming. That's one thing that I can always say is going to be a hobby of mine, and that I'll never kind of consider like a job. I'm trying to get back into the mindset of making what I do as a living a hobby and not work. You know, sometimes it does feel like work, and that's why sometimes waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning is a bitch sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I'm like trying to work myself back into making, working on shoes a hobby. Learning how to make shoes is a hobby for me because it's interesting to me. It's fun, It's challenging my mindset. Cars. How am I going to forget cars?
Yeah, I was gonna say something about that, but I was like, I'll let him talk.
I love cars. If I'm not watching Among Us videos, because that's the end game right now, I am watching car videos. And so I'm watching them on my phone because this one doesn't like watching them. So she'll watch her stuff, and I watch my car videos in the corner. I love cars. I mean,
fair.
I barely this year I started working on my own car, and even then that's it's like a hobby to me. Even though sometimes it does get frustrating. Even though sometimes it does get frustrating, it is still a hobby and it's still relaxing. I don't know. It's just something about cars that just eases my mind, especially when I'm driving. It's like I'm one with the car and like I'm just cruising or driving fast, whatever it may be. I'm chilling, We both own BMWs from 2007. They are old, but they are very beautiful. They are very reliable. And paid off is the best thing, yes. So since it is paid off and all we really have to worry about is insurance and registration, that's really it. I am modding the living crap out of it. Not engine-wise, because the engine my car has is very reliable, so I don't want to, mess that up. But cars is a huge hobby of mine, right next to games. I would say it kind of overtakes games.
Ask him what he did the other day, though.
Oh. I kind of scratched my new bumper.
The wound is still fresh.
Yeah, I kind of scratched my new bumper.
Did I pour salt over that wound?
Just a little.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I went to go get Chipotle and I kind of pulled in a little bit too. I'm usually good at this. I usually stay really far from the curb. But this time I was like literally boom, and it scratched my bottom of the front bumper.
It's weird though. I didn't even hear it.
I didn't either. It was literally like this. I didn't go on it. I was just
You were just sitting on it.
Yeah, and so then the reverse or the going onto it a little bit is what scratched it. But yeah, those are my hobbies: games and cars. Yeah, I don't know what else to make this first episode about. I don't even know what we're gonna title it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad we got this going because we've been saying like do this forever, and watching another couple's podcast is what made me like, okay, she really wants to do it, so I'm like, let's do it because she always supports what I want to do, even if it's something she doesn't like cars or going to car meets. Or doing this and that, so I'm like I have to reciprocate that sort of support, and she really wants to do the podcast, so we're gonna make that happen. We're not gonna make it into like a schedule sort of thing until we have to, or if we even have to at any point in time. But we're just gonna make it when we feel like it. But like how we're talking right now, we have a lot of topics that I'm really down to talk about.
Just like how you started dating and like things like that. How you started your business. I love listening to his story about how he started and what got him started, and how he carried it throughout these last 8 years, almost 9 years.
Yeah, it's crazy to look back that it's been 8 years. It's crazy. It doesn't even feel like it. It doesn't even feel like we're 22 living in Arizona. It's crazy how sometimes life just kind of flies by, and then one day you're either soaking in your pity or you're like soaking in your greatness. It's like, damn, life just kind of happens whether you make it happen or you let it just run over you.
One thing that I could say, like, my brother gave me the best advice, and from this, like, till this day, I'm using it every fucking day, is don't get too high on your highs and don't get too low on your lows. And that shit shook really hard on me because I'm a very, like, not one note, but, like, I explain myself like Tinkerbell. I can only feel one emotion at a time. So if I'm mad, I'm mad. If I'm sad, I'm really sad. And it can go on for days until I can pick myself up or someone can help me up. And that's like one of the things that I've been trying to work on. So if you are looking for a book, I highly suggest
The one you just got?
Yeah, what is it called?
I think it's called You're a Badass, no?
Yeah, You're a Badass is a good one. And then what's the book that you have?
I'm reading Unfuck Yourself, and I read that. If we put it into days, I read that book within 3 days. Because I'll read hella one day, not read for 2 days, read again. I read at night. And then I have like 10 pages left on that book, and it's really, really, really good for people who are kind of like in a rut like me and trying to get out of it and trying to make your mindset better. The next books where I'm going to read are Gary Vaynerchuk's book that I have. And then I have Logic's Supermarket book, which I'm going to read for fun. But then I want to read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And then I've already listened to the audiobook of Russ's It's All in Your Head. So I want to get the hardcover to read that too. And just put it in the collection.
The next book that I'm going to read, my cousin actually recommended it. It's called When Things Fall Apart. And it's by Pema Chodron.
You guys are going to come in for some treats, man, because both of us, sometimes we just can't talk English. Oh my God. Is that, yeah, there's not, so when we were starting college, you have to take an assessment test.
Oh, and, fuck. Really?
And so her excuse is she wasn't ready for the test, but how do you prepare?
I really wasn't.
How do you prepare for an assessment test? It's an assessment test.
Well, chill.
And so like,
so I came there. I was unprepared. I came there to thinking that
it's
I
an
was just gonna make
test. You can't study
like a
for an assessment test.
I was just gonna make a scheduled test, okay? And then all of a sudden he's like, "We got an opening right now. You can go in and take your fucking test." So I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever." I go in and take the test. I do amazeballs in mathematics because that's my subject. And then it got to reading, and it was paragraph after stories and paragraphs and stories. So I said, click, 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 click. They thought English was my second language. And they put me in courses where it's like actual English and then like the support English, and I said I need to fucking retake this shit because I was born here and English is my first language. So
but yeah, that was hella funny when we heard that. But sometimes we just be slurring over our words and just can't talk. So you guys are in for a treat for when that happens. It's pretty funny.
So
but
yeah,
I think we'll call it for the first episode. I don't even know what we're gonna call this. So we got to think about that and talk about that. So I hope whoever is watching, if anyone's watching out there, you guys stick around for more podcasts because it should be pretty fun. We have a lot of things that I'm going to write down in my notepad to talk about.
I kind of want to have a notepad.
Not my phone. What the heck? I kind of want to. What I want to do is we each come up with a topic and don't say anything to the other person. So that way it's like a surprise. So I'll come up with my list and then just pick from it and then just surprise you, sort of thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I like that. All right. So if you enjoyed this rant, podcast, video, comment, like, share. We don't care as long as you're loving the journey just as much as we are.
Leave that on your channel. If you find us interesting, why not hit the subscribe? Who cares?
Boo!
Don't use yours. It's
Mine
yours.
is way better.
That's your staple,
Mine is
bro.
way better.
We're out of here, deuces.
Bye.
That's your staple, man. You can't use your staple.